Hey, it's Mr. Bass. Thanks for watching the channel. Today I'm going to talk to you about something that I showed you. I did a video about my bank fishing tackle bag. I've started using this. Actually, I've used this for years for different applications. And I took it out on the bank with me one day and started fishing out of it. And I've kind of turned this into my full-time bank fishing bag. I love it. If you'd like to check that video out, you can watch it right here. But one of the key things that I carry in this bag over here in the side pocket is my terminal tackle box. And several of you asked me to do a little video on what's in my terminal tackle box. So I'm going to do that today. Now this little box is awesome. It's made by Gamakatsu. It's called the Gamakatsu G-Box. And it is the 388 double D is the part number. They call it the pocket utility case. You can get this at Tackle Warehouse for 10 bucks, $9.99, and you've got a perfect tackle box for walking the bank, fishing those ponds. It is only 4.8 inches wide, 3.8 inches tall, I guess you would call it, and 1.3 inches thick. It fits in your pocket perfectly. So if I'm in a pinch, I don't feel like carrying the whole tackle bag, all I got to do is grab me a couple of packs of soft plastics, my rod, throw this terminal box, this G-Box, in my back pocket. It fits in the jeans pocket just fine. Works great. I absolutely love this thing. I'm a bass fisherman, so I don't have panfish lures or that kind of thing in here, but you could easily build you a panfish box with this as well, if that's what you're into. I'm going to show you what's in my bass terminal tackle box for fishing the bank. Now, if you open it up, you'll notice it's loaded with compartments. And because I'm kind of an organization freak, you can see that I've gone ahead and put a label on just about every compartment so that I know where everything's at. Now, if you think about fishing from the bank, less is more, you know, and you don't want to carry a whole lot. I mean, you got to carry everything on your body, basically, that you're going to take with you to the pond, a little lake, or the stream, or whatever. So what I try to do is I try to think of, first, I build my kit basically around the techniques that I know I'm going to be fishing from the bank. So for example, I know in my part of the world, I'm probably not going to be fishing a drop shot. I don't have anything in here for drop shot fishing. I also know I'm not going to be flipping and pitching in heavy, thick mats, right? So I don't have huge bullet weights and really big 5-6-aught flipping hooks. That's not what's in here. I know that I'm going to be fishing slow-moving finesse type deals, fishing a Cinco, fishing a Nico rig, fishing a Ned rig, those kind of things. I might fish me a little Mojo rig, you know, instead of a full-scale Carolina rig. So that's kind of what this thing is made for. So let's just look in the first. The first thing up, I got snaps and swivels. And quite frankly, you're going to need snaps and swivels no matter what you're fishing at times. Now, the snaps that I've kind of gone to are these Norman speed clips. I don't know if there's any way that this little guy's going to show up on this camera, but let's hold it there for a second and see if it does. These Norman speed clips kind of have replaced my snaps because they're really easy to use. They're super strong and sturdy. They don't normally bend out, and you can use them for a variety of different ways. So anytime I'm attaching to a crankbait or anything with a split ring, you know, I'm going to use these speed clips. You know what a swivel is. I probably won't go into the swivel. I definitely have O-rings in here for my wacky rig. Now, I don't always wacky rig with O-rings, but you got to have an O-ring, right? I don't know if you guys have ever tried these double O-rings. Somebody invented these so that you can rig your hook the other direction. Now there's other things out there now that are probably better than this, but I keep a few of those in as well. Also, I throw a lot of nail weights, especially when I'm doing the Nico rig. So I've got all kinds of sizes and shapes in there. I don't know if I can maybe hold this up. It's probably spill out, but you can see I got a lot of different nail weights, length sizes, that sort of thing. All right, then I only have 4 compartments where I keep hooks. I've got Ned rig hooks, and I have 2 different types of Ned rig hooks in here. I've got your traditional style Ned rig hook, and I throw a lot of weedless Ned hooks. And this is kind of my favorite weedless style, so that you can rig your Ned rig Texas style. To me, this is great, and I was actually fishing this yesterday and just slaying them on that. But I fish around a lot of grass, timber, laydowns, that kind of thing. So when I'm throwing a Ned rig, I do throw weightless a lot. Then I have a few straight shank and offset worm hooks in here. This one's a little more finesse-y style worm hook, and I can fish all kinds of smaller worms on that. And then this is a little bigger, stouter, more heavy duty offset worm hook. I'm doing a lot of worm fishing when I'm fishing from the bank, quite frankly. So I use a lot of worm hooks. And speaking of worms, I also like to fish a Cinco. So I've always got wacky stuff ready. I showed you the O-rings already. And this is kind of my preferred go-to wacky rig hook. And again, it's got a weed guard as well because I fish around a lot of junk. But to me, this is a great wacky rig hook. All right, I carry a couple of other hooks in here. These are grip pin hooks. And this is what Mustad makes this. I think it's called the soft plastic grip pin hook. And this is what I fish my Texas rig Cincos on. And you can fish, though, any kind of a soft plastic. You can put a lizard on there. You can put a beaver style bait. This little grip pin is what they're talking about. It's right up here, and it holds that bait really well in place and keeps it from sliding down the hook. These are not huge. I throw the 3/0 and 4/0 size. This is also another weedless finesse type hook. This is made by Z-Man, and it's called the Finesse Bullets Weedless Jig Head. And I will fish small little swim baits on this. You can also put any kind of your Ned rig type baits on this. It's a really nice little hook. The only other type of hook that I carry in my pocket terminal tackle box here is the shaky head. I used to shaky head way more than I do now because the Ned rig has replaced a lot of my shaky head fishing, but I still fish it. And I really only carry one size of shaky head in here, a 1/8 ounce size. This is kind of a typical shaky head hook. This is the way it would look in the water. That's the way you fish it. I have a couple of different types and sizes of shaky head hooks that I throw. Next, bobber stops. You gotta have bobber stoppers. It helps you to peg your weight, and if you're bobber fishing, it'll hold your bobber in place. If you're using a loose bobber, I don't really use that much, but bobber stops, man, I can't tell you how many times I'm out on the water and I need a bobber stop. You can also use this in making little modified Mojo type rigs. These things work quite well. So gotta have bobber stops, and I've always got some handy there. The next two compartments are my bullet weights. I got small and large bullet weights. But when I say large, the largest I got in here is probably not even a 1/2 ounce. It's this one here. That's my largest. So it's probably not even quite a 1/2 ounce. I've just got bullet weights, large on this size, and then the smallest I go down to is about an 1/8 ounce. And quite frankly, when I'm fishing on the pond, I use this smaller size. I use the 1/8 ounce, probably more than I fish any other thing out there. I also have beads, and the beads are for my little, they're for when I'm fishing in really dark water and I want to put maybe a bead on a mojo rig, or I want to put a bead to make me a little clacking noise in between my hook and my sinker on any kind of a flipping presentation. Okay, I don't know what these things are called, but I use these for my modified mojo rig / mini Carolina rig. And it looks just like a little plastic cylinder, but what it's made to do is you can take your pliers. These are not pliers, but just kind of give you an example. Put your pliers there, give it a squeeze, and it opens up and you can slide your line through it, and then it pinches down on your line when you let go. And this is just a really nice little tool to have when you need to adjust your weight up and down your hook. All right, I also have some rattles in here, and the kind of rattles I use are I call them worm rattles. They're just glass rattles. They got a sharp point, and you can just push them up into any kind of a soft plastic and turn your silent worm into a rattling worm. And then the last thing I have in here is split shot. And you know, whether you're fishing for panfish, mojo rig, this is what I'm using. One of these little split shot sinkers. And if you get in a real pinch and say you run out of bullet weights, you can put a split shot on there and it'll get you by until you can get home and get you some other weights. Okay, that wraps it up. My little tour of the Mr. Bass Gamakatsu Pocket Utility Case. $10 for this little bad boy. I absolutely love it. I think it's fantastic. I actually weighed it, loaded with my tackle, ready to go. It's only 12 ounces. 12 ounces. I love light. I love compact. I love this little box. Hopefully you'll like it too. Go give it a try. Thanks for watching the channel. I hope this was helpful and informative. If so, please subscribe. Smash that like button. Until next time, this is Mr. Bass. Happy bank fishing!